everybody, my name's Michelle and this is my channel Sewing Bunny, and today's video is all about the Sewatop challenge. Now, for anyone that doesn't know about the Sewatop challenge, it's been created by Claire from Penguin and Pear Dressmaking. And what she's done is she's created this challenge, which means that a whole load of us sewing vloggers have all got together. We're all creating a top of our choice, and then we can do a review. And how Claire has set it out is that everyone has their own day. So if you are following with it so far, Claire has led the way, and she did the first video yesterday, and then I'm doing the next video, and then you'll get lots of other sewing vloggers following each day. So what I'll do is I will put in the description box below everyone that's taking part and the days that they're doing, so that you can have a look at that. So yeah, so Claire's handed over to me for today, and my pattern review is the Simplicity 8882, which is this one here. So yeah, this was part of my July sewing plans, and as soon as I sewed this top up, I just thought, yes, this has to be the top that I do a review on. So the reason why the top is on the mannequin is just because I want to go over a few details first, but I will be putting the top on a little bit later in the video so you can see what it looks like on. Just in case anyone's wondering, I'm wearing the Kielo Wrap dress at the moment. Okay, so let's get on to the pattern. So this pattern is a Gertie pattern, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Gertie. She specialises in kind of like vintage kind of inspired garments, and so she's teamed up with Simplicity and created this top. And there are two versions in this top, and if I bring this a bit closer, apologies for the light. So we've got version A here, and we've got version B. Now, it did take me a little bit of time to work out what the difference was, but this one has the full kind of sweetheart neckline, and this one, version B, has a very plunge neckline. So that's the difference between the two. Apart from that, they're exactly the same. So I decided to opt for view A, just because I thought that sweetheart neckline looked so pretty, and just I thought was a little bit more kind of like vintage, and I kind of wanted to kind of stick with the kind of vintage look, because I loved the way that this pattern looked, and I took inspiration from Gertie's one here. So she is wearing a top which has loads of anchors on. Now, this top is from a fabric from Stitchy Bee, and it is a lightweight cotton, and it's red with lots of little polka dots. But you'll probably notice here we've got some buttons, and what I'll do is I'll do a little zoom in so you can see there. I've got 3 little red anchor buttons, and I just thought that was so cute. And yeah, I kind of loved the whole anchor kind of look from Gertie's top, so I kind of wanted to kind of replicate that a little bit. So yeah, I just thought overall I think it looks adorable. I think it's so cute, and it is very kind of retro, which I love. And so yeah, I think actually the top does look like the picture, which is always a bonus. So okay, let's go on to some of the details. So I suppose the first thing that I should start off with is, what size did I cut? If you don't know, my measurements are, I'm a 36 bust, I'm a 30 waist, and I'm a 40 hip. So when I had a look at the measurements, I do tend to look at the finished garment measurements on this quite a lot, and I had a look, and they do have a 36 bust on here, which says that it is a size 14. But when I looked at the finished garment measurements, it does actually say for a 36 bust, so with ease, is 41.5. Now for me, I kind of thought that's probably a little bit too much. I think I wouldn't want that amount of ease, and because it is kind of quite a fitted top, I did kind of want it reasonably fitted on the chest. I thought I don't want to make the effort of making this top and then find it's really gapey, because especially with a sweetheart neckline, sorry, just jogged to the camera, with a sweetheart neckline, I don't want to have any gaping. So I decided to go for the size 12, which is the next size down, and the size 12 does say that it is for a 34 bust, but the finished garment measurements is a 39.5. And I kind of thought that is probably a little bit better for me. It means that there should be enough wearing ease, but without it being too tight, because I don't want it too tight, otherwise, yeah, you're not going to be able to breathe in it. So I went for a size 12 on the top. Now for the waist, it doesn't say on the back here, you have to have a look at the pattern pieces. And for a size 12, the waist was going to be far too small. I think it was kind of like a 28 or something like that, I think, the finished garment measurements, and that wouldn't be good for me. So I had a look, and the finished garment measurements for the size 14 is a 30.5. So I decided to go for the 14. I think I probably would have wanted to have done a bit more ease, but the pattern, it comes in 2 size variants, so you have to buy a pattern envelope if you want the size 6 to 14, or you buy the next pattern envelope, which is the 16 to 24. And yeah, I just kind of thought, I wasn't sure which pattern envelope to get, so I went with the smaller one, purely because of the bust. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that when I've actually got it on, but it does fit. It is just a little bit snug. But anyway, so I did the 12 on the top, and then I graded out to a 14 on the waist and the hips. And all I did for that is the pattern pieces here. So when I cut them, all I did was I just graded out. So I started at a 12 here and then just graded out here to the 14. So very, very easily done. You just basically get a ruler and you just grade from one side of the pattern where it's a 12 and then do a gradual line down to the 14. So it was very easy to grade between the sizes. So the next thing is your fabric requirements. Now with this pattern, it does say you can use a variety of different fabrics. So on here it does actually say you can use broadcloth, challis, chambray, cotton types, gingham, poplin, sateen, shirtings, etc, etc. So you don't want anything with too much drape, but you want something with some light structure to it. So that's why I went for this lightweight cotton. And with the fabric requirements, this is what I absolutely love, is this pattern takes 1 metre of fabric if your fabric is 150 centimetres wide. And I love that. There are so many fabrics that I have where when I first started, you know, kind of sewing, I only literally bought maybe like 1.5 metres. And I'm so happy that this you can get out of 1 metre. And I do think you can get 1 metre out of this if you do have the wide fabric. I think up to the size 18. But to be honest, I think any of the sizes you could get 1 metre out of it, because what I'll do is I'll actually show you how much is left over. So this is how much fabric I had left over. I mean, yeah, it's not tons, but you know, for 1 metre, I think that's absolutely amazing. So if you don't have wide fabric, then the pattern does say if you've got like your 110, 112, then it does take about 1.25. Now I don't know if you maybe don't have a directional print or anything, you might be able to do a little bit of pattern Tetris, especially if you maybe are on the slightly smaller scale on the pattern. But yeah, How brilliant is that? Just such a small amount of fabric to create this top. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Okay, and then next up, I think I should talk about the instructions. Now, I sometimes struggle with instructions on the Big Four. These instructions I was very, very impressed with. I didn't have any problems with the instructions at all. They were very, very clear. If I can show you an example of them here. So you've got lots of pictures on there. They are very, very clear. And what I love is they tell you when to do your stay stitching. They tell you when to finish your seams. Brilliant. And I love it when a pattern tells you things like that, or, you know, I love it when they say how to finish your seams, when to press and when to do stay stitching, because, you know, I don't really understand, you know, if I'm following a pattern, unless it tells me to do something, I kind of have to just guess, and then I feel like I doubt myself. So I do like instructions which are very clear. So yeah, I didn't have a problem with the instructions at all. I think if you're a beginner, then I think you could probably have a go at this, but again, I just think it'd be a good idea if you have sewn a few tops, if you've done a zip before, if you've done a facing before, then this would be absolutely fine. If it's your first pattern, maybe it might be a little bit advanced, but I mean, the instructions are really good, so I think even if you are a real beginner, you could still give it a go. So just a few details actually about the top. So as I say, I did version A, which was the sweetheart neckline, and this is all done on a facing. So you've got a facing that comes all the way around and down here, and then you turn it round towards the back, and then you do your edge stitching, which keeps it in place. And I actually find that none of this facing really pops up out of place. When I first put it on, I might get a little bit of it here, maybe, that kind of pops out a little bit, but as soon as I tuck that down, it is not moving. It is absolutely stayed in there, because you anchor it here and also on the tops of the arms. So yeah, really, really nice. And you can see on here, this is a grown-on sleeve. So no attaching any sleeves, which is great. And do you know what, for a grown-on sleeve, when I've put it on, it actually is a really good fit. So I was really impressed with that. And then at the bust, you don't have any bust darts, but you've got these bust gathers, and I love this. They are such a nice little touch, and I just think they look absolutely adorable. So they give enough obviously to give you lots of room and everything. I mean, I am a 34C bra size. Now I know sewing patterns have, like, you know, A cups and B cups and C cups and things like that, and they're very different depending on your high bust and your main bust measurement, but I just kind of thought it might give a little bit of helpfulness when you see it on me, knowing what my bra size is. So yeah, I love that. And then you've got this curved band here again, which just accentuates kind of like the bust and the waist area, and I think it is so flattering. I love it. And then you've got this gorgeous little peplum, and this is so cute. I love a peplum. And then what I'll do is, if I just switch her around, so here is the back, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it too closely here, but there are 2 bust darts at the back, so you've got a nice little bit of shaping here. And then what you've got down here is you have your zip. Now, a touch which I love is the zip doesn't pull down, it pulls up. So you do it from the bottom up to the top. And I love that. I think it's such a cute little detail. So it means you don't have to worry about finishing the zip up the top there. It matches up and lines up really nicely. And yeah, I just think it's absolutely lovely how it can just pull up and down. And I love it. I was very happy with how the zip went in. I mean, it does kind of look a little bit kind of puckered, down here. Now, I think it's probably because I'm a little bit scared to press too much. I think because I'm worried about melting the zip or something. But yeah, I think it kind of looks all right. And I think once it's on, then yeah, you're not really going to notice that. And I've managed to line up everything quite nicely, so overall I'm really, really happy with it. The only thing I will say is when you put the top on and you want to pull your zip down, you do have to kind of really reach around and grab it, because that's actually quite a high point. So if you're not great with your arm flexibility, then you might need a helping hand with someone doing your zip for you. I mean, you'd find it if you had it the other way, I think, as well. But yeah, I do find, even for me, I'm normally quite fine, like, you know, reaching behind me and everything. But a little bit, I'm kind of a bit like, oh, find the zip, grab it and pull it down. But, you know, I can do it, so I can wear it and I'm happy. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try on the top for you so you can see how it fits and yeah, just see what it looks like on me. Okay, so this is the finished top and I love how this fits. I'm so happy with it. I love these little bust details. I think it really is so flattering, and as I say, I'm a 36 bust and a 30 waist, and you know, that's not a great deal of difference, and I do think it actually does shape me quite nicely. And this top section, as I say, it's a grown-on sleeve and I can't believe how well that fits, and I've got so much movement. I can stretch my arms, I can do whatever I need to do. I don't feel like there's any restrictions. And when I mentioned earlier, I said about the waist and that there's only ½ an inch worth of ease. And I wish I'd maybe done a tiny bit more, because I think it's okay around the front. I think it's actually when you get round the back that's where it's kind of maybe a little bit tight. I'm fine with the front. I don't feel like I have to, you know, suck myself in or anything like that. You know, it's actually really comfortable, and it does kind of feel close enough that it kind of, I don't know, it kind of makes me feel like I want to stand a bit proud, and you know, I love it. But I'll swivel around so you can see the back, and I don't know if you can see on here, this is where I think it is a little bit tight. It doesn't quite sit as flush as I think I'd like. So I think if I'm going to make it again, I will probably, because this is in two separate pieces, so this is one section and then you've got the side seams and then you've got the other section. I might maybe see if I can maybe somehow grade out just a little bit on that back section, maybe. That might help. I'm not sure. I'll just see how it goes, to be honest. But I love the look of this. I'm so happy with it. And yeah, I just feel really pretty wearing it. And yeah, I think, especially as it only takes 1 metre of fabric, I think I'm going to make quite a lot. And when I posted this top on Instagram, I was so overwhelmed. I got so many comments with people saying how nice it was. And yeah, it just, you know, when lots of other people tell you how nice something is that you've made, it just makes you want to wear it like loads. So yeah, I think I'm going to wear this for, you know, if I go out. I could probably even wear it, you know, when I go to the office, because I think it's quite smart. And yeah, overall, I'm really, really happy with it. I think, you know, if you like kind of vintage inspired patterns, or even if you don't, this is just a lovely little top to wear. So that was my review of the Simplicity 8882. Let me know what you think. Do you like it? Is it not really your thing? You know, have you made it? Do you think you'd like to make it? I'd love to hear any kind of feedback you have. It's lovely to hear from everybody. So because this is part of the Sewatop challenge, you're going to have another sewing vlogger tomorrow. And that sewing vlogger is lovely Deb, and she is from Slaphappy Sewing. So what I will do is, as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to put everyone who's taking part in this down below so you can see what days they're doing. And yeah, all I would say is just check them out. There's probably a few people on there that you haven't heard of, and some people you probably have, but just give them a go. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a top review, and you know, I love top reviews. I mean, I like garment reviews full stop. So it's always nice getting someone else's opinion, and you know, it's nice to see, you know, tops on different shapes and sizes. So yeah, I would just say check out as many of the people as you can. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I will speak to you all very soon. Bye.